Hi everybody, this is lesson 14. We're going to be dealing with minor, the minor mode. We've had major mode up until now, and it's time to switch to minor. Back in the olden days, when we were first paying attention to how people wrote music, they wrote using different scales, different types of scales. The one we're used to, that one, which we call a major scale, I'm just reminding you, it has half steps between the third and fourth degrees of the scale and the seventh and eighth. And everything else is a whole step. There's the half step, and there's the other half step. Everything else is a whole step. So when you have all whole steps except for half steps between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8, you have what we now call a major scale. If I were to take all of starting on any white note on the piano and play all white keys to the next one of that same letter, like I just did with C, that's all white keys, then the half steps fall in a major scale. But if I were to start on a different note like D and play all white keys to the next D, I'd get a very different sound because the half steps would be in a very different place. That's the one that starts on E. Here's the one that starts on F. Here's the one that starts on G. The one that starts on A. The one that starts on B. And then C. I haven't played any black notes at all. Those are all white notes. In every case, the half steps fall in a different place. There are 2 half steps per scale, and they fall in a different place depending on what note of the scale you started on. Well, in times before Baroque music, composers wrote in all of those scales. They used them interchangeably. They used them as one as often as another. And they were all called modes, and they all have a different name, and you don't need to know those names because I can't remember them anyway. Things like ionic and super mixolydian and I forget. There's a bunch of them. They all have a different name. But through the years, because of the tuning of keyboard instruments, because of, popular response, ease of writing for different instruments, for whatever reason, by the time Bach and his contemporaries came around, by the time we got to the Baroque era of composing, we found ourselves pretty much confined to 2 different modes. The one that starts on C and the one that starts on A. Those are the 2 that the composers have used mostly ever since. Now, there are certainly people who write in other modes, and we sometimes refer to their music as modal because it's neither major nor minor, but 99% of the music that you listen to and sing is either major or minor. And we've been doing everything so far in major, so I wanted to spend a little bit of time on minor. So I sent you this piece of paper, and I have written on it some major scales and the equivalent minor scales. So these are called related. G major and E minor, they both use an F sharp, 1 sharp, which is F sharp. But they sound, here's G major, and here's E minor. They sound quite different, but they're still using the same ingredients, just in a different order. So let's talk about 2 different songs, probably songs that you know. These are African American spirituals. They are part of our culture. We've heard them and sung them probably many times in our lives because we are Americans, and that's where this music originated, was in America. The African American experience being a unique culture in the world. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child is one of them. Think for a moment about what the words say. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child a long way from home. What's the emotion there? What are you trying to express? What was the composer trying to express? The people who choose to sing this song, how do they feel? How are they trying to get you to feel? You know by hearing the text. Here's the tune. That note, the one that it ends with, and this is true about most songs, the note that it ends with is usually the key note. It's usually do. And it's an E. This is an E minor. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. You get it right away. You know in your ear that this is a minor key. Well, obviously, there is a connection in the human response to music between the minor mode and a sad song. A heartfelt song, maybe a scary song. Halloween songs are usually a minor key. There is usually an emotional response from listeners, regardless of their culture, regardless of their history, that will respond to a minor key in a sad way or a scary way. Now, here's another African American spiritual, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. What does it end on? E flat. E flat is the keynote of this song. And you know it in the first two notes of the song. The text of that one is, swing low, sweet chariot, comin' for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Now, that means in the language of the African American slave, it meant I'm going to die, and I'm waiting for the chariot to come and take me. I want the chariot to come and take me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home is good news if you're a slave. It means that you are free of bondage. It means that you're free, and it means that you will be reunited with your loved ones in heaven. Most slaves fervently believed this. They needed to. It kept them going. And the idea of death was not a sad thing. So a song about death, if you are an African American slave, is not a sad song. It's a hopeful song. It's the dream. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? A band of angels coming after me. Come on, angels. This is a happy song. And you'll notice it's in a major key. That's a happy song, and it's written in a major key. And most cultures, most people, most humans, regardless of their culture, regardless of the music in their world, will respond to this mode with a happier response than if it were in a minor mode. It is just a human response to this, and composers know that, and they take advantage of it. If they're going to write a sad song, they write it in a minor key. If they want to write what's the word I'm going for? When somebody's homesick, and they're dreaming of home, they're dreaming of they wish they could go back home. It's usually going to be written in a minor key because it's sort of nostalgic. That was the word I was after. It's a nostalgic song. It makes you long for something you don't have. If you are singing about hope, you're singing about joy. If you're playing a march for the band to come down the street in a big parade, you're going to write that in a major key. So minor and major is a really important part of our emotional response to music. So let's sing. Would you like to sing? I think you would. I've given you the tunes and the words to both of those spirituals so that you can sing them and feel the difference between singing in a minor key and singing in a major key. Let's start with the major one. Let's start with Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And we're not going to use the piano because it's an African American spiritual. They did not use pianos. They didn't use any instruments. They just sang. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. There are a lot of verses to that song. If you go looking it up, you'll find other verses. The chorus is always the same. And also, I just a little note, whenever you're singing an African American spiritual or any kind of folk song where we don't know the composer and we can't go to the source, the original music that's written down someplace. We can't do it with a spiritual because we don't have any idea who wrote it. Nobody knows. It just evolved over the centuries. So since there is no source, we don't know exactly how it was first sung. And so over the centuries, as people sing it to their children, the song changes a little bit from generation to generation. And you may have learned Swing Low, Sweet Chariot slightly differently than from the way I just sang it. That doesn't make you wrong. Doesn't make me wrong either. It's just two different ways of singing the same song, and they're both right when it comes to folk music. So, don't get too hung up on it. If you sing it some other way, you know different words, you know slightly different rhythms, go for it. You're just as right as I am. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child is, I don't know, more COVID appropriate, I guess. I want to say there's a certain nostalgia to these times that we're living through where we kind of miss our old lives and we can't get them back. And maybe we miss people that we love. It could be family members, it could be friends that we haven't seen for a long time, and we just can't see them. And there's a sadness to that. So somehow, sometimes I feel like a motherless child feels a little bit more appropriate to the times that we're living in. At least it does to me. So just a quick reminder that those 3 quarter notes that have a bracket over them and the bracket has a 3 written on it, those are triplets. So if you were thinking, okay, this is in 4/4 time, there's 4 beats in a measure, the quarter note gets 1 beat, then what's wrong with this measure that says motherless child? It's got 3 quarter notes and a half note. That looks like 5 beats to me. Well, it would be if they weren't a triplet, but there's a triplet there. So those 3 quarter notes are designed to fit into a space that 2 quarter notes usually fit into. So instead of saying ba, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 3, 4 is covered by that half note, but before it we have ba, 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 ba. Motherless child. Very common in our music to have triplets. Let's sing. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home, a long, long way from home. Do that again. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home, a long, long way from home. Very different feeling from Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, but they are both African American spirituals. They're both about the same length. But they have very, very different messages, and the composer, whoever that may have been, took advantage of the message, thought about what he or she wanted to sing, wanted to feel, wanted to make others feel, and chose either a major scale. Sorry, it was G major. No, it wasn't. It was E flat major. Right. Swing low. Or a minor scale, which was E minor. Very different, those two. And we're going to talk a lot more about minor scales and how they can be altered and all kinds of fun things about them. But I just want you to understand the difference in the mood between the modes. So I hope you have a week that's filled with major mode music instead of minor mode music. But if minor mode music is speaking to you right now, go ahead, sing it, feel it, choose it in your listening library. Let it speak for you if you need that right now. And if you don't and you just want to cheer yourself up, switch to major mode. It'll be a lot more of an upper. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.